Welcome to Race, Religion, and Politics, the most controversial online show in Crittenden County. Our purpose is to discuss all the things that your mother and father and perhaps your job told you not to talk about. Race, religion, and politics, the things that affect us all. And I think, and I hope you agree, that these are the things that are most important in our lives and we need to talk about them in an intelligent way. Now, our show is going to be provocative because we're going to be forthright in our discussions. And our first guest on our first show, and I'm glad to say, is probably one of the most well-known figures in Crittenden County politics. We have Justice Hubert Bass, who represents Quorum Court District 3. And we've got some questions to ask Justice Bass. We've read about him in the paper. We see him in the meetings. Some people say he's a strong leader. Some don't seem to like him. He seems to evoke strong feelings amongst a lot of different people. So we want to talk to the man himself and see what it is that motivates him. Who in fact is Hubert Bass and why does he do what he does? Mr. Bass, how are you this evening?
Hey, I'm fine. How you doing?
Good. I've been excited about the opportunity to talk to you, and in fact, there are a lot of other people I want to talk to, but I'm glad you are our first guest, and I'm going to be talking to you, and I want you to feel comfortable and tell us what's on your mind. And I think the first question I'm going to ask you is, tell us, why did you write an ordinance for the Crittenden County and West Memphis Civil Rights Commission, and why did you go ahead and appoint the commission as a chairman of the Quorum Court? Why did you go ahead and appoint your own commission? A lot of people say it's your commission. Can you speak to that?
Well, yeah. Shabaka, I'm sure you know this, being the president of the Crittenden County NAACP, we have
Don't tell anybody.
we have a lot of issues of alleged police misconduct, abuse, and civil rights violations.
That's true.
We have issues that we can just look at in the hiring process, as far as African Americans are concerned, and even in the job industry, government, non-government, even where you have a higher incidence of disciplinary actions, terminations involving blacks. So basically, the commission was written, the ordinance was written to provide oversight and transparency, mostly into government and what's going on here in government, and a lot of people didn't want that for some reason. However, when I had the opportunity as chairman of the Quorum Court to appoint that commission myself unilaterally, I seized the moment. Why not? We need it. It was the right thing to do, and I done it.
Well, it's interesting that you say you appointed it immediately after you appointed that commission. And by the way, I thought it was a great move. I was there, and people's mouths and their jaws dropped because they were shocked that you would do something like that. And I thought it was a brilliant move. But immediately afterward, there was a firestorm of criticism from the local paper that most of us call the Evening Crimes, and there was a group of white Crittenden County elected officials who formed some sort of consortium that said that they were in opposition to it, and of course then there was this argument that the county attorney Joe Rogers said that you couldn't do it. I mean, can you speak to that?
Well, yes. I mean, again, none of these officials, including several on the Quorum Court and the county elected officials that you're talking about, wanted transparency. They didn't want.
Wait a minute. They don't want transparency?
Of course not.
Mr. Bass, now that's a pretty strong accusation. Are you actually saying that we have elected officials who really don't want the people to know what's going on? That's exactly what you're saying now.
Well, it's implied through their opposition to a commission that would provide oversight into government functions as it relates to civil rights and human rights. So I would have to say that they didn't want transparency and still don't want it. And it's alarming that you would even have county officials, well, any county official, but especially a sheriff, that would be against a Human and Civil Rights Commission. That's borderline dangerous.
Now, my understanding is that the county sheriff and others have referred to the commission that you impounded as a bunch of headhunters. If I recall, the Crimes in one of his articles or editorials called the members toothless, and of course, and since I'm on that commission, I'm proud to say, and I do have all my teeth. I got I think I've got 30 or 32 teeth in my mouth, so I do have my teeth. But it appears as though there was an attempt from some elected officials, along with the newspaper, to marginalize or to devalue the importance and the significance of this commission. How do you respond to those kinds of charges?
Well, I mean, if understood, it was basically politically posturing. They was battling for the minds of the public. It's a public opinion battle. I've stated to Joe Rogers, who's absolutely who's the attorney.
But the county attorney right. He said that you couldn't do that. I mean, he is the county attorney. He's the legal counsel for the county. I mean, yes. You're not a lawyer, are you?
No, I'm not a lawyer.
Okay, well, this is the county attorney. He's saying that you can't do that. I mean, what do you say?
Well, exactly what I stated to him, and if I broke the law or if I'm in violation of the law, then sue me. Let a circuit judge tell me that I didn't have the authority to do what I done. And I told him that back in October. It is 2011. It is now January 2012, and I haven't been to court yet.
Well, let me ask you a question. I don't mean to cut you off, but since the county attorney says that this isn't legal, did you seek out legal advice before you made the decision to impound this commission?
Well, of course, it was quoted in the Evening Crimes, as well as actually when I impounded the commission, I did state in that video, it was video, that I had sought legal advice from the Arkansas Association of Counties in Little Rock. Mm-hmm. So, I was advised that as chairman of the court, it would be somewhat informal, but I could do it nevertheless. And I did not need the quorum court to vote on it. So,
in other words, what you're saying is that any power that's not denied you specifically by law or statute is by implication allowed.
Right. If it's not expressly denied or specifically denied, then yeah, I could.
Now, I did read one of your letters. I believe you sent to the paper talking about Joe Rogers. I thought it was a little comical, but you suggested that county attorney may have some substance abuse problems and therefore may not be sober-minded enough to make those kinds of decisions. I mean, I don't know if you want to respond to that. I found it comical. I would imagine anybody. I don't remember if the paper printed that or not, but
no.
And you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. I just thought it was
I will
funny.
just say this. I don't think, based on what we have seen from our county attorney, I do not believe he's competent. And of course, we do have sources that we're not going to reveal at this time that does say that he has a substance abuse problem. However, I think that we need to be looking at getting another legal counsel for the county.
Wow, that's pretty strong. Well, I tell you, I for one, I like what you did, and I think a lot of people did, and I think some people didn't. And my question always is to people who are against something, why? And I've not had anyone say that they couldn't give us any plausible reasons as to why we did not need that kind of oversight. So I could only deduce that they were just concerned about a change, and maybe that change would affect them or whatever agenda that they may have or be a part of. Let's move on. I'm going to ask some other questions. Well, I did want to ask you this.